In this session, we'll explore how to read effectively in an academic environment. Here's what we'll cover. First, the main objectives of the lesson. Then, several reading methods such as pre-reading, skimming, scanning, detailed reading, and critical reading. After that, we'll look at recursive reading, which means reading as a continuous and reflective process. We'll also talk about how to organize your reading time efficiently. Finally, we'll conclude with key takeaways to strengthen your academic reading habits. By the end of this lecture, you should be able to understand the purpose of pre-reading and how it helps you prepare before reading a text in detail. Learn how to skim effectively to get an overview of a text. Use scanning to locate specific information quickly. Develop your critical reading skills so you can question and evaluate what you read. And finally, apply recursive reading strategies, which involve reading and rereading to build deeper comprehension. These skills will help you become more efficient and confident readers at the university level. Reading plays a major role in academic life. Today, we are surrounded by an enormous amount of information, from books, research papers, and online resources. So it's not just about reading more, but about reading smartly. In an academic context, we need to distinguish facts from opinions, identify credible sources, and make use of the many resources available to improve comprehension. This lecture will introduce you to different reading methods and strategies to help you read with purpose and efficiency. In academic settings, we generally recognize 5 main reading methods: pre-reading, skimming, scanning, detailed reading, and critical reading. Each of these serves a different goal depending on what you want to achieve. Let's begin with pre-reading. The goal of pre-reading is to prepare yourself before reading in detail. When you pre-read, you try to understand the general context of the material, how it relates to other works in your field, and what the main ideas might be. To do this, look at the cover, the table of contents, any headings or notes from the author. Check if there's an introduction, a summary, or a list of other works by the same author. This stage helps you predict what the text will be about and focus on what matters most once you start reading deeply. Next is skimming. Skimming means reading quickly to get a general overview of the material. It helps you decide whether a source is useful or relevant before investing time in it. When skimming, focus on the table of contents, the headings and subheadings, the abstract, introduction, and conclusion, and any important diagrams or summaries. You don't need to read every word. Instead, try to grasp the main ideas. After skimming, take short notes or write down questions to guide your deeper reading later. Now let's move on to scanning. Scanning is another quick reading strategy, but it has a different purpose. While skimming gives you an overview, scanning helps you find specific information, for example, a date, a statistic, or a keyword. You usually scan when looking for something particular, such as data for an assignment or answers to tutorial questions. It saves time by allowing you to focus only on the relevant sections. After pre-reading, skimming, and scanning, we move to detailed reading. This is when you slow down and read carefully to understand arguments, facts, and viewpoints in depth. You consider different perspectives and identify the author's message and purpose. Ask yourself, does this text offer a new definition or perspective? Are there biases or possible misunderstandings? Detailed reading helps you build strong comprehension and critical thinking skills. Now we come to one of the most important academic skills at university: critical reading. Critical reading means engaging with the text actively. You don't just accept the information, you question it. You analyze how the author builds their argument. Is the reasoning logical? Is there enough evidence? Are there contradictions or hidden assumptions? Is the author biased? You also compare the text with what you've learned from other sources. This process helps you form your own perspective and become an independent thinker, a key skill for university success. As students, you'll work with both primary and secondary sources. Primary sources provide original data or first-hand accounts, but they need to be understood in context. Remember, primary texts might include outdated information or personal biases. Secondary sources, such as reviews or textbooks, can help interpret those primary texts, but they can also introduce bias. Whenever possible, read both types together to form a balanced understanding. Next is recursive reading. Recursive reading means that reading is not a one-time act. You often need to revisit the same text several times to make new connections and deepen your understanding. Each time you reread, you recall what you already know, ask new questions, infer meaning, learn new vocabulary, and evaluate the text more critically. This process turns surface-level reading into deep learning. To become an efficient reader, you must also manage your reading time wisely. Here are a few tips. Identify what each class or assignment expects you to read. Know why you are reading. Is it for understanding, preparation, or research? Choose the right method. Sometimes you need detailed reading, other times skimming is enough. And finally, plan your schedule so you have enough time to read and review. This will help you stay consistent and avoid last-minute stress. Let's conclude. Reading is one of the most essential academic skills at university. Each reading method has its own purpose. Pre-reading helps us understand context. Skimming helps us decide if a source is useful. Scanning helps us locate precise information. Critical reading teaches us to question and evaluate information. Recursive reading improves comprehension through repeated engagement. And managing your reading time keeps you organized and reduces stress. By practicing these strategies regularly, you'll not only read more efficiently, but also think more deeply and critically. And that is the real goal of academic learning.